And welcome into the Backstage Pass. It is Tuesday, January 25th, of course, 2022. Hard to believe we're saying that. And where's January gone? I don't even know because next week is February. We're just counting down the weeks until CRS 2022 coming up February 23rd to 25th at the Omni Hotel. And some great guests lined up there. John Barry, the band Exile, and of course, just so many cool things. I think Craig Campbell, his rumors Craig Campbell's going to come hang out with us a little bit there, the artist Craig Campbell. Just a whole bunch of cool things that are going to happen in Music City. I wish I was there now. And I tell you what, it's just a few weeks to get to meet a good friend of mine. And she's under a rebranding of her own, but the music continues to kick ass and take names. And we're presented by our good friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, Hank Jr. Productions. And now you can get official Backstage Pass merchandise at MitchMax.com. Yeah, we branched out, got our own line of merchandise now, and she's got her own too. And the brand is called Ash Taylor. I love her. She's always welcome on this show anytime she wants to come on. And Ash, how are things going?
Man, they're going good. Thank you so much for having me on. Been looking forward to getting to catch up and hang out, man.
It's been a while, yeah, since I want to say we last talked. A lot of songs were out there doing real well for you. Well, tell me about this because we know the last 2 years have been pretty nuts for everybody in indie industry out there. How did you, I guess, kind of, remedy this whole thing? And the music business kind of was on pause there for a while. The live shows were on pause. Artists had to reinvent themselves through live streaming and stuff like this and staying in touch with their fans. How did it change you, or did it change you as an artist?
I definitely think it changed me for sure in so many ways. I had kind of 2020 had started, and honestly, I felt like my career at the time was kind of like at this all-time high. I was playing sold out shows at places like the Bluebird Cafe and was, doing a bunch of touring, and I had released an album, and, just things were honestly just kind of where I've been working years to get them to. And so I was feeling pretty good about my career and kind of do my thing. And then, 2020 happened, and it was all the shows went away, and that was definitely really weird. So, it was like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll just hunker down and see what happens, and write a bunch of songs and do a bunch of things. And then in October of 2020, I kind of had this pretty devastating blow to where I was one of a couple thousand artists that had their Facebook hacked. So I lost my verified artist page, which a lot of people think, oh, well, it's just a Facebook page, what can that mean? Well, when you're verified, that's kind of tied to how I basically sell tickets to shows. It's tied to merch. It's tied to all of these things. And so even if the world was alive and going, there's just no way that I could have continued with music. So I kind of didn't really know what to do, to be really honest with you. I definitely went through a couple-month period. I was just trying to figure it out and pray about it and just see, how do you recover from something like that, and still be able to go do what you love to do and keep going. And so, yeah, after a lot of prayer and a lot of consideration, I ended up, deciding to essentially take everything down and just start all the way over. New name, new music, new merch, new everything. So I've spent the past, year or so essentially rebuilding things, and not to. It clearly is a lot of work, but truthfully, I am just so pumped and excited though for everything that I'm doing now and kind of the vision and the path that we're on, that I would gladly go back and do it all over again. So I feel like the best is yet to come, and it's just been a very long, interesting road. And I know I'm clearly not the only person that's had a rough time in the year 2020, whether you're a musician or just anybody. It's definitely been a challenging 2 years, but I also think through challenges and stuff is kind of how we end up becoming better people and really look at things and examine ourselves and end up just kind of working things out for the better.
Now, tell people, of course, the old name, Ashley Taylor. I love this new configuration now. Ash Taylor. I love it. It's kind of short, sweet, to the point. Going through, I guess, any challenge out there. You mentioned how tough the last, 20, 22 months have been. But the name change, things like that, is it something that you were very confident in? Was there a little kind of worrisome, I guess, with the fans and your followers? Tell me about this. I want to know more about this rebranding, because I like when you told me you were going to go Ash Taylor. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny. So my mom and all of my brothers, let me put it this way. So my mom never calls me Ashley. It was always Ash. So it's like if she said Ashley, it was like I was in big trouble. And so a lot of people already just called me that, clearly just a
Mhm.
nickname. And I love it, no problem with it. But like I said, going back to having your Facebook and all these verified accounts kind of taken from you, it's like, well, I couldn't go by that name anymore because I no longer have access or own that
Mhm.
name. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It was taken away and we couldn't get it back. And so it's like, well, you kind of have no choice, I feel like, but to change your name and then try to figure it out. So, honestly, like I said, it's kind of a big decision. I feel like if you're like, all right, well,
Mhm.
I've worked essentially my entire life to get to this point and I've been known by this name and this is what I do. And, you have all these things to then say, well, I'm going to start it all over. And so, Ash, like I said, it's a nickname. I really liked the name Ash Taylor.
Mhm.
I feel very, comfortable when people call me Ash. It's not that big of a change for me. And I also thought, for fans, I kind of messaged some people, yourself included, and was like, hey, if I went by this, do you think that's weird or anything? And they were like, no, not at all. Like, I actually think it's super cool. And so, I felt honestly like, pretty confident about it when I first made that decision. And then as you go through and you're thinking in your head of, all the things and how you rebrand yourself and change yourself and essentially teach people like, hey, I know
Mhm.
before in the past, this is what we were doing, but this is what we're doing now. That's nerve wracking. You know what I mean? Because clearly
Mhm.
you want what you're doing now to be just as well received, if not more so received, by people and fans, especially. I didn't know if people in their heads were going to be like, what is she doing? Is she like going to shave her head backwards, shave her head and walk backwards like Britney in '07, or like what is she doing? But no, but people honestly have just had a really good reaction to it, which honestly makes me really happy. And it's something, like I said, I don't know another Ash out there, and it just seems to really fit me and my brand and my music and what I'm doing. And I've honestly just like leaned into it, man.
Mhm.
We have a series we're going to be starting here in the next couple months where I'm going to be going live every Wednesday on Instagram and TikTok. And I've decided to call that series Ash Wednesdays.
I like
Just
that. I like
yeah,
that.
just going with it.
Yeah.
We redid my fan club and all that kind of stuff, and renamed my fan club the Bad Ashes.
I love that
So
too.
yeah, we're just leaning into it, man. Just go all the way.
I love that. It's good stuff, no doubt. Tell me about this. How's mom? How's the family? I know we talked a little bit about this. I'd love to catch up, just not just music, but family wise. You got married as well through this
I,
process of this
I did.
rough time we've all gone through. Tell me how the how's married life and how's mom and the family doing?
Man, mom and the family are doing well. They're all
Good.
back in California. They had a great Christmas, great, New Year's. They weren't able to come out this year, but, they're all doing well, doing their thing. Yes, I did become a married woman since the last time we talked, which honestly has been awesome. Just speaking of like the past 2 years and how crazy all that was. So my now husband, Chris, he actually proposed to me on March 15th of
Mm-hmm.
2020. Well, here in Tennessee, our lockdown happened March 17th. So we literally got engaged, and then 2 days later, the world kind of ended. So
Yeah.
that happened. But no, I mean, honestly, it's just been great. I mean, clearly we planned the wedding and everything kind of through a
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, which is definitely interesting. Kept me on my toes for sure. And it's great. I think I've been married about what, like 7 months now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. I think a lot of people I've heard, say, oh, the first year of marriage is the hardest. And I don't know if that's true, but for me, honestly, I think it's just kind of been the best. I think it's kind of cool. Not really a lot of changes. It's just kind of getting to be best
Mm-hmm.
friends and do life together. And we've been very blessed to kind of already do that before for the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, very happily old married woman now. So,
I just hit year 11, so I can tell you this: it's the never
oh,
easy, but it's the common ground. And I tell you that little girl is growing. My daughter's growing like a weed. She's
she's
I tell
precious, by the way. She really is. Like, you send me pictures and videos, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, she is so cute. Like,
uh,
adorable.
and getting to that point where there's a lot of babbling going on because she hears daddy's talk show and then she listens to daddy going to work sometimes. And then also to her school, we got her in school for the past year and a half. And she hears your music and everybody else is on a playlist and she starts going, trying to sing along to it or bounce around or dance a little bit. So it's
Yeah.
always kind of fun to see their reaction because those first 2 or 3 years are so critical for
Oh yeah.
the connections you make. And she's quickly become, as the shirt says, daddy's girl on it. She'll wear it sometimes. And it's
Aw.
so I got a lot to we got to go out to eat and have a good time when I get to to Nashville here in a few weeks and just
I
show
know.
you some more pictures. You know,
Hey, I'm totally down for that, man. Seriously, please let me know. I know it's going to be a busy week for you, but we'll figure
Mhm.
something out, get together. So I love that.
We'll definitely do it. Like that first day I get in there, the 22nd. I'm thinking we're gonna have some. There'll be a couple things going on, but not as high demand as those following three. And of course, I'll be there the weekend too. So before I fly back, we're definitely gonna make some time there, and definitely I'm gonna come by and see you, and hopefully meet Chris and just enjoy some. I need
Yeah.
some good Nashville cuisine. I gotta go find something to munch on. So.
I don't want to brag, man, but my husband is quite the chef. So maybe we'll have you over for dinner, or we'll take you to some cool Nashville spot, man. Have you ever been to Edley's Barbecue?
No, I have not. And you know what the funny thing is? I think it was like
Uh,
15, 16 years when I was probably back in the, I don't know, the teens or what have you, maybe around
yeah.
2021. Family trip went there. I don't remember Nashville vividly. We went over to Graceland, Memphis for so quick for my mom. And it was just like, okay, I went by Vanderbilt. And I think I went by, I guess it was still Nissan at the time, the Titans when they just first had moved there. So this was probably, yeah, give or take the early 2000 parts. So I was probably in my 20s. And looking back and I said, man, so it was kind of a blur, but at least I remember going
Yeah.
there. The Elvis stuff I'll never forget. So definitely for you guys to take me to any restaurant, that barbecue restaurant included, would be great, no doubt. So let's make those plans. And
we got you. We got you. Yeah, plenty of places in Nashville to eat.
Hey, tell me musically kind of what's going on now. Of course, we've kind of talked about the rebranding. I'm sure a lot of writing happened during this time. I'll say time off, but musicians are reinventing themselves and doing more writing or working on their brand and trying to get live shows back at the same time, writing or co-writing. Musically, what can fans expect in the next chapter of Ash Taylor?
Man, a bunch of stuff, and I'm really happy to say that because I've been working my little butt off, like super hard, like they have no idea. I basically get up every morning at 5:30, and I essentially have up until the time I go work a day job right now because there are no shows.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I get up at 5:30. I literally work on music stuff, writing, recording, whatever it is. I go to work, I come home, and I do it all over again until I go to bed. So I've been hitting it really hard. But there's honestly a lot of different things that I kind of have had up my sleeve. Of course, a lot of writing. I've written a bunch of new songs, and honestly, just really excited to share those because I feel like I'm pretty honest with myself if a song is good or not. And I feel like these are definitely the best I've ever written. And I'm just really excited to share those with people. But I've been doing a lot of writing by myself. I've also been doing a really good amount of co-writing with some other super talented artists in town. Working on a video series. Like I said, we're going to be kicking off like a weekly live stream show that I'm doing. So kind of be on the lookout for all of that. And then actually this morning I was sitting in here and I was working on starting to book shows for the summer of this year. I was really hesitant to know, exactly like, will I get to play shows this year? Will that be a thing? How does that look? But it looks like I will be doing some traveling and this summer and be able to kind of travel to Kentucky and Alabama and Georgia and some places in Tennessee. So it looks like I will be hitting the road at least for a couple months. And I don't want to get my hopes up, but I really hope it happens because I really am excited and I just kind of want to play new songs for people and be able to play it to a human face and see their reaction. So I'm crossing my fingers, man. But yeah, we just have so much in the works and definitely planning on going into the studio here and starting to record new music. I got a new producer behind me that I'm really excited to work with, and kind of just really seems, like we have a lot of great people on my team that are kind of helping me with this new direction and new vision and trying to make it the best that it can be. And like I said, I'm just genuinely excited to share it and get it out there.
All right, take me back before the Facebook page was hacked because we had talked about some great tunes you had out there at the time too. I want to say you had it on a few charts if I remember correctly, and I do try to remember a lot of things from past shows that we've done because I know 2 years is a long time since we chatted, but you've been back on the show. We've chatted since then. But those songs still any kind of going into the archives and saying, man, we may just pull a couple of those things that were kind of working for me back as the other, Ashley Taylor. We're going to pull some of those on an album and give me kind of the progress of the fans still clamoring that type of music.
Man, one thing that I will say is I think, it's like I personally, I guess, kind of write songs and I never really write them for myself. I feel like it's always for other people. And as I went through, and started to basically take down things like my album that was previously out. And you're right, that album, Bakersfield, I released that in January of 2019. It sold 100,000 copies. I don't have a record deal. I don't have people behind me. That was just me grinding, and that was fans just getting
Mm-hmm.
out there doing their thing. And we charted on, iTunes and Billboard and all of these things. And so it was kind of like the little train that could. And so, like I said, that came out in January of 2019. Here, 2020 happens, and my Facebook's gone, and all this is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm dead quiet on social media for months and months. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, I got to take this album down. So I took the album down, and literally within like 10 minutes of it, I get the email saying that it's gone. I had people messaging me left and right and be like, what happened to your album?
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't it on Spotify? I can't listen to it anymore. And I was like, oh my gosh, like how sweet, how do I explain this? So one of the things that I actually have been doing is, I can't say that some of those songs will not be re-recorded and, basically come out, because I feel like there are certain songs fans just really seem to love, and they want to hear it again, and they want it out there. So I've been kind of already, when people message me and they're like, hey, what happened to your album? I'm like, okay, what was your favorite song? Tell me which one out of those 7 on that, album, which ones do you listen to over and over, and what are your favorites? Because, I can't say maybe I would release them as singles, but I would honestly really just love to eventually maybe re-record some of those and just put them on an album. And that way, these OG fans that knew me back when I had a different name and back in the day, that way it's like they're able to essentially have something that they seem to really just love and relate to, and that they, clearly want to support. So yeah, I mean, you may hear a couple old ones, I've also, like I said, been writing a bunch of new stuff, but it's kind of interesting, when the world gets quiet, I went back through and was cataloging all these hundreds of songs that I had written, and I found a small handful that I wrote, over the past 5-6 years. And I was like, man, I forgot about this, but like, this is a really good song. Why do I not play this out? What am I doing? So I think it's going to be fun. And again, another reason why I'm excited to, start recording music again and getting it out there, because I think a lot of people seem to really, really like the old stuff, but I think just based on a little bit of reaction, I think people are really going to like the new stuff too. So, I'm pumped.
I'm ready for some new stuff. I'm kind of pumped. You got me kind of like that salivating. It's like getting a pizza brought to your house sometimes and getting your favorite toppings on it. It's like, man, I'm ready to throw down, or a good rack of ribs or something like that too. Because I am a carnivore. I hate to say it, but I love to eat. It's one of those things that's out there. People that know me too. I love good food, good times, good restaurants, and good drinks. And I think a lot of people can stay the course on that too at the same time. Definitely got a lot of things to ask you. We're going to take a quick break here for the sponsors, Bangtail Whiskey and MitchMax.com. Of course, that's a place to go to get that Backstage Pass merchandise. The countdown is on for CRS February 23rd to 25th. And of course, that barbecue restaurant has now been written down on my list here. No doubts. Can't wait to get there and try that out too as well. And just some of the guests there, the band Exile, John Barry, the artist Craig Campbell, and a whole lot more are going to be joining us here for those 3 days. Myself, Kirsty Krause, and Jeff McMahon. We'll have a good time there. Don't forget, coming up today at 5:30, you love Dancing with the Stars. We're going to talk a lot about it too, and then some. She's got a great product out there called True Niagen, the artist, and of course, I say artist, she's done everything in her career. Actor, done some films, Dancing with the Stars, fitness model expert. Brooke Burke is going to join us today at 5:30 on the show today here on the Backstage Pass. We'll take a time out for Bangtail, more with Ash Taylors. I get used to saying that here on the Backstage Pass. Coming back, talking music and rapid fire and a whole lot more. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause, Jeff McMahon, and Karen Lee Batten as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. You know, I always want to go to Bakersfield one day. I'm just saying that because I loved that particular song. Kind of a weird way to transition to come back, but I always remembered that song when you put that out.
I so appreciate that. Like, but see, that's what I'm saying. I never get tired of hearing that though, because it's like, oh, but yeah, I know. I think that's probably one that will probably come back, and it's so funny. We're talking about the world being just locked down and everything kind of being really quiet and all, and I did a lot of like soul searching, has myself as an artist and just trying to figure out, not what Nashville tells you have to be, but like, what do I want to do? What's important to me? What do I like? And even if it's not popular or whatever. And that honestly kind of led to a lot of soul searching. And truthfully, it's like born and raised in Bakersfield, California. I love Bakersfield country music. And essentially with this whole rebranding thing, that's kind of just authentic. It's who I am. And so, this new music, honestly, is a modern take on that Bakersfield country. It's what I like. It's who I am. It's what I do. And, if Nashville doesn't like it, well, then that's okay. But I really like it, and it's what I want to do. So.
Well, that's the cool thing. And the thing is, you're going to have something fun out there and festive for fans to always, salivate over and just enjoy the fact that the rebranding is going to be a good. And I'm kind of with you, too. It's kind of like, I guess, when I started doing the sports thing and people were like, well, you're having musicians and sports. I'm like, no, it's like, okay, look, we're good now. We're doing all right. So it's a music thing / sports. And that's why you call it a grand slam of both music and sports there. So now you kind of understand the idea of what we're doing. Yeah, I still know about the other name, but now there's kind of a cool name behind us that we're proud of there too at the same time. So it
totally works. And I remember, because I know you and I have we've known each other for, I feel like, a good couple of years. And I remember, I was on the show, I think not too long after you had started it. And it's been cool just to sit back though and see progress and all the people that you've had on and just like how you've grown and stuff. It's honestly really, really cool. So don't listen to them. Your name's great. Okay.
I hope you like the logo that's there too at the same time. We put a lot of
awesome. Yeah.
a lot of work into that too. When it comes to anybody know about branding, it would be you, no doubt, because you did a lot of great stuff. And before all that hacking went on too at the same time. And look, I'm with you too. It's like, I wish people had something better to do than do that. Cause I used to have an old Twitter account we started doing the music thing, and somebody hacked that too. I just wish people had more time to do with their.
Man, it's so great. I know, it's wild. I know.
Yeah.
I know. Like the day that it happened to me back in October of 2020, I was like one of a couple thousand, and since then, just that I know here in Nashville, I know literally 50 people that I know, personally, that have all had either their Facebook or Instagram or something hacked, and it is crazy because you would think someone would have better things to do with their day, but. I guess not, I don't
know, man. I just get enough technology as it is throughout the day, because about 7 o'clock at night, I'm ready to turn it off. And then we'll just kind of look at some things coming in there. That's a family time in that particular domain. But I couldn't stay on it 24 hours a day for 7 days a week. I'd lose my mind pretty quick if I were to be on it for that long. I think we're already putting in 8-9 hours a day with my shows and of course the phone and some things there. But it's just and I think there's pros and cons to what the streaming has allowed artists to do over the past 2 or 3 years, keep themselves out there, singles, projects, things like that. But I wish you the best of luck with all this rebranding stuff. And I can't wait to hear what is written, what comes out, the song titles, things like that. Do y'all have kind of a drop date, I guess, that you can say in mind? Because I know it's hard to let the entire cat out of the bag. But I'm curious if the fans are curious. Is there a drop date? I know 22, but is there a month coming up?
I hate to say a month, only because I feel like, especially in the world we live in, so many things are just so uncertain. But my goal is to have a bunch of new stuff, say like new music and, at least some videos, and start that video series and all that I was talking about. I'm hoping to have that, start coming out here within the next couple of months. So for sure, by the time we get to the end of 2022, fans should be sick of seeing my face everywhere, because I'll be like, hey, I got this new thing. What about this new thing? And how about that? So yeah, we'll just have a lot coming out, hopefully steadily throughout the year. And I think 2023, I'm going to already claim that that's my year.
Ooh,
Just go ahead and claim that right now. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, again, thanks for being excited and
no,
cheering me on. So super appreciate it.
Never forget those who were excited with what I was doing, excited what they're doing, and of course,
Yeah.
the phone. Just like the phone keeps ringing every day, so that's a good problem to have there when it's
Yeah.
a good thing. And we'll see that at CRS coming up here in a few weeks. And I got a tough job at 5:30. To interview Brooke Burke. That's not easy to do, right? That's a tough job. So,
But I have full faith in you. I have full faith, man. Full faith. You got this.
So if you got a New Year's resolution and a fitness goal, you want to lose some of those lbs, man, stick around. She's got a cool app out there and a cool product. You get a chance to talk to her today at 5:30 today. Like I said, Dancing with the Stars, actress and fitness model. She's done it all too, and she's 50 years old and she's still in great shape. 50 years old. And I never should say a lady's age on air, but I just did. But she's a phenomenal lady, great personality, and still at the top of her game in her field at her age now. So congratulations to her, and looking forward to catching up there. And the cool thing is she'll have a lot of great things out there. People can make meals and try to eat a little healthier, and
wow,
a lot of cool stuff there we're going to talk about. And Nick Canizales will be here with me coming up today at 5:30. He's been MIA for a while, definitely. He asked about you, and I said, yeah, she's coming on today. And some cool.
Hello.
I'll sure do that, no doubt. Let me ask you this before we jump into a rapid fire, because I know you love the process of songwriting. That's what it is, to create something from nothing and to put it out there to make somebody feel something, a side of themselves they may never have felt before, or get them through tough times. And to me, the more artists we talk to here on the show, the song doesn't necessarily have to always be a number one hit. The song could just be something that's put out there for somebody to feel something. Tell me your favorite part of that songwriting, and of course that the buttons you want to push with the tunes you put out too.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of have two emotions. One is to make people like either dance or sing a lyric back to you. I don't think there's anything honestly better than writing a song. I mean, just creating something from scratch. And, you kind of make this thing, put it out there into the world, and then you get up on stage and people relate to it so much that they actually just start singing it back to you. I've had that happen a couple different times, and I just feel very blessed. One time in particular is I had gone up to New York to play a show, and I did not think people in New York liked country music. I was like, ooh, I'm not really too sure what they're going to think of me. And sure enough, I stepped out on stage, and 2 or 3 songs that I had played in my set, original songs that I had written, literally when it got to the chorus, I just stepped away from the mic because they could just carry the tune and just keep singing it. And it's like, how cool is that? So definitely just when people connect with it enough, they want to sing back and kind of dance, and it just makes them feel happy. The other thing, like any true songwriter, is I like to make people cry. That's, there's several songs that I've written throughout my time, where it's like I've just gotten really personal and, just shared different details and different things. And I don't think that ever gets old. I think it's really cool that when you can actually sit down and you can essentially create something from nothing, and then, have it be something just super heartfelt and super personal to you, and, people like yourself or, whoever relate to it. I mean, you talked about my song Bakersfield when we came back from the break. I wrote that song my very, very first day in Nashville. And I mean, I literally sat on boxes with a cheap $200 acoustic guitar, and I wrote that. And, at the time when that song was written, it was like, I just wrote it because that was my story. And that was, my whole life. It's like, I'm from here, and I'm here now. I'm trying to do my thing. But it's like, I wasn't even an artist at the time that song was written. I moved here to be a writer. And after being here a while, people were like, nope, you're an artist. And I'm like, cool, I love it. Let's do it. But, things like that, where it's like, I didn't write that song for people to be like, oh man, I dig this, and it's kind of cool when people listen to your story and they, relate despite it being super personal. It's pretty awesome.
That's the beautiful part of it, is you're going to make somebody feel something where it's like you said, make them cry, make them get them out of a tough situation, or make them just kind of the joy feel or something like that too. So I am, definitely excited as this branding continues into 22, 23. I think it's going to be your year. So wholeheartedly agree with you, and just can't wait for the first tune to come out, because I'll be saying, yep, that's a Ash Taylor song right there. Looking forward to the titles of it and what comes out of that great writing set of skills that you have too at the same time. So looking forward to
thank you so much
to that. It's going to be pretty cool. And like I said, I loved Bakersfield. I kept it and still have it on the playlist and get a chance to listen to that too, to still have the music kind of flow around, especially since the young daughter, she loves to listening to your stuff too at the same time.
Aww.
So
She's precious. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I told her, I said she's going to grow up on the best music out there, that being country music. And no disrespect to any other genre, but country to me is to the heart, to the soul, and is the best. And I grew up in that era, loved 90s country, loved everything about it. We've had some of the best artists who set the tone for young artists like yourself today. And I am just thrilled to see the next chapter of what you got to put out there. All right, we'll take a quick timeout one more time for the sponsors. We'll come back. Rapid fire, you game?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. See, we've changed a few things since we talked, but she'll pass the test with flying colors. We'll come back with Ash here in a little bit on the Backstage Pass, of course, and CRS is February 23rd to 25th in Nashville, Tennessee. Looking forward to that and hanging out with some of the best and brightest artists in Nashville. And, of course, yes, PR firms. I count you in there, too, because without you guys, I could not do my job here as a media representative. Timeout for Mitch Max and Bangtail. We're back in a short time. Here we go. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-hosts Kirsty Krause, Jeff McMahon, and Karen Lee Batten as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
I drank a glass of that after my COVID I had a couple weeks ago. It cleared up my throat very well. So,
gosh, you had COVID?
I did, yes. I had COVID about January 11, 12, somewhere in there too. So
gosh. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, hey, look, thank God for the vaccinations. I'm gonna tell you, the first two kept me from being in the hospital. So I'm just speaking on behalf of what was best for me. May not be best for anybody else out there, but it was Lord smiled down for me on that too at the same time, and it definitely affected my wife and daughter. They're fine, everything was good, but
good.
And when I got better, it was like taking vitamins, hurrying up, drinking a lot of fluid. I was like, I'm not supposed to drink that in the pantry, but I went and I saw it, and I grabbed a Coke and poured it on ice, and I was like, okay, a little bit of this won't hurt. When I got better, I was like, okay, and it cleared up.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do.
That was a good part of it. Bangtail Whiskey. Check them out, bangtail.com, and the Easy Liquor app. You can do the home shopping there and get it sent to you. And, of course, they've got some great distilleries in Florida out there, Orlando. 90 proof handcrafted whiskey out there, too, from Orlando, Florida. And, of course, good friends at Hank Jr. Productions and, of course, MitchMax.com. All right, let's do the thing with Rapid Fire. And don't forget today, Brooke Burke at 5:30. Looking forward to that one, too, as well. And then tomorrow, Sarah Harrelson's going to join us on the show. And one of our good friends from Canada, Elise Saunders, is going to come by. All right, let's do this. So I'm going to back to food now. You mentioned a barbecue place in Nashville that I'm about to go with you guys to dine in. Nashville restaurants, and I hear a lot of good things about them. Sushi, Thai food, pizza, Italian. People talk about it all the time. Is there absolute – of course, Hattie B's, but is there absolute different cuisine I'm not thinking about that's just a good hole in the wall for like home cooking that I've got to try when I get there?
I mean, the thing is about Nashville, there's so many different places and food. For good home cooking, though, man, I love Loveless Cafe or Monell's. Okay. One of the two. You can't go wrong. If you can just eat both in a day, that's the best day of your life. Just go to both. But, yeah, super good. Like, who doesn't love biscuits and homemade jam? Like, come on. Yeah.
Those are good things that we enjoy, especially for breakfast, because I'm like you, too many carbs and too much of that carnivore stuff, too much meat. But I'll say this, I'm trying to get more veggies in the diet too. It's
do what you can. Yeah.
Oh, it's hard, man. I tell you, especially when you see it all like on a buffet, you just see it all right in front of you when you walk in it. You get your tray.
Yeah. And when you're at a buffet, it's like, why eat veggies? Like, you know what broccoli tastes like, but you're like, but this other thing, come on, like, yeah, it's hard.
That's the funny part. Is the only thing I will eat is sometimes that steamed broccoli, no cheese, just the steamed broccoli. Cheese. Because I'm not a big cheese person, but it's kind of funny. Like you see the baby carrots cut up, or I don't know. I'm not the foo kind of. I don't do that, man. I can't do that. Nothing to disrespect too much.
No foo.
All right, let's do this one. Is there I guess a dream destination, kind of a two-parter here, either to take the Ash Taylor out there on the road to say, man, I want to play here again. I played here before the pandemic. I want to play here after, or I haven't played there. And then is there a vacation spot you're like, man, I don't have to play here. I just want to go here with Chris and have a getaway trip.
I gotcha. Show wise, I would say there's two things. So one, right before the pandemic, like literally the last show I played a sold out show at the Bluebird Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely love to go back there and play that again. As far as future Ash Taylor shows, if I could play the Grand Ole Opry just one time, I think I would die very, very happy. As far as vacation spots, Chris and I were actually just talking about this the other day. I have a whole list in mind, but I would say at the top of that list, I would love to be able to go to Paris. Ooh. That would be my big, maybe like a 10-year wedding anniversary, so if I hang on in there for 10 years, but yeah, I would love to go to Paris someday. I think that'd be awesome.
All right, I'm gonna go back to a pizza question. You gotta love Paris too. We'll get over to Europe one day, no doubt.
Yeah.
Your pizza just for yourself. Chris can't have a slice, or nobody can. Just for you, what toppings go on
it? Italian sausage and pineapple.
Oh man!
Listen, man.
Wow. Okay, I'm not knocking it. I'm not.
It's the sweetness of the pineapple, and then it's the spicy of the sausage, and like the cheese, and it's super good. And I like to take the crust when I'm all done and dip it in ranch dressing. I'm telling, it's heaven. It's heaven on earth. Super good.
Ranch dressing. But I will say this, maybe we try that when I get there. Maybe we do something where we do a pizza thing or something, because I've got to try pineapple on pizza. I don't think I've maybe a long time ago, but
you can't hate it until you try it, because it's really good. I promise, it's really good. It's really good.
I can't wait to try that out too as well. All right, I know this because it's becoming more and more, and I'm drinking more of this, and I shouldn't be doing it. But coffee beside whiskey, coffee out there in the morning, coffee drinker. What goes in yours?
Well, I'm trying to be healthier, but yes, I drink coffee every single morning, and currently right now I'm trying to be healthy, so I just put natural, organic, heavy whipping cream. That's it. No sugar, no chemical, super tasty hazelnut flavoring, just heavy whipping cream, and it's delicious.
Yeah, my problem with mine is I'll get the half and half sometimes, or the Coffee Mate French vanilla kind of, which is good, but my biggest problem is Splenda. I've got rid of Sweet and Low. It's hard to get rid of Splenda. I can't.
Oh, it's so hard, honestly, to get rid of any form of sugar in anything. Yeah, I mean, I didn't drink coffee for, I guess that was about 3 months. I mean, just no caffeine. And I literally took a sip after 3 months of no coffee in the morning. And I literally started to cry because I was so happy. So I think that's the only way I could break it from like not having sugar and just having like pure cream in my, coffee. It's like, go without it for a couple months and you taste it plain and you're just like, oh, it's amazing. So good.
All right, I'm going to do one. I'm going to take one from the audience here. Actually, we got one of my good buddies, David Hine. He tunes in all the way from England today. So that's the cool thing is we're going to take his. But first, I'm going to ask you this one. When it comes down, I guess, to cartoons and movies growing up, and I know this is something I didn't ask you last time. What were some of your favorite cartoons and movies growing up?
So my favorite, kind of embarrassing, but I'll share on air. To this day, I'm obsessed with Disney's Beauty and the Beast. I would watch that on repeat. To this day, as an adult, a grown woman, if I just feel like it, or if say like I'm sick and I'm at home and it's like 2:30 in the afternoon, I'm putting on Beauty and the Beast. So I would say definitely Beauty and the Beast is at the top of that list. I'm also a Disney Channel kid, so I don't know. There's a lot of things like Lizzie McGuire, Even Stevens, kind of my thing. Of course, the classics. You can't go wrong with some good Tom and Jerry. So.
No, you really can't too as well. And I'll tell you mine. Growing up, He-Man. I loved He-Man. Just the thing that was.
My oldest brother is obsessed with He-Man. He-Man for sure. He's cool. Yeah.
And then also the what was I trying to think of the sword? Oh, the Thundercats. Thundercats.
The Thundercats. Yeah.
Give me sight. Beyond Sight, he would do that, the video character too. He used to have the toy sword when I was growing up. All right, I'm going to go to England here because I know David's like, I want to hear my question on the air. We'll do that, David. We'll put that up there too at the same time. Enough cartoon talk because I go on all day with cartoons, G.I. Joe, Transformers, all that. Yeah, she does play instruments. I'm going to let her take it away. What you got? I know you do because you're fantastic at it too, no doubt.
Oh, thank you. My gosh, anytime I need my ego boosted, I'm going to call you to come on the show again and be like, tell me again how good I am. Thank you. Yes. Thanks for your question, by the way, David. So, I would say my main instrument is guitar. You know, I've played guitar since I was 17. So I play acoustic guitar. That's probably my main thing. Especially during the pandemic, I started playing a lot more like lead guitar though, and playing a lot more electric Telecasters. I also play a little bit of mandolin. I can play a little bit of piano. And if you need a very basic bass player that simply just hits the root notes, call me. I got you. So it's kind of my main thing of instruments. But yeah, I'm also married to a fantastic guitar player who literally can play anything. So it's kind of nice. I've always had the saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So it's kind of nice having another musician in the house where, you know, if I can't play something, he can, and it just kind of inspires me to be a little bit better. So keep the chops up.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. He was saying down there too as well, if you have your guitar, would you show it on screen? She's probably not around. I don't know if she's around your guitar, but he was asking too as well if you showed your guitar on screen. You probably don't have it there.
I'm in my studio. I don't know how well you can see it, but I'm happy to grab if need be. But
yeah, if you want to, that's totally up to you. Just
I'll grab my main Telecaster. But yeah, I should mention that between me and my husband, who, like I said, is also a musician, I own 30 guitars.
Yeah.
But I'll here 2 seconds. I got you.
All right, she'll grab this one too. Don't forget, coming up 5:30 today, Brooke Burke is going to join us here on the podcast. I love it. You did tell me you owned a lot of guitars. You weren't kidding. I saw them behind you there. It's a beautiful one right there, no doubt.
Yeah, don't know how well we can see it, but yeah, this is essentially my Fender Telecaster right here. This is my baby. So
that's your baby, you go, David. No doubt. There you go, no doubt. Wait, I'm gonna finish with this one here, and it's great having you back. Great catching up, and we're gonna do this again when every piece of new material comes out, or singles, or EPs, or whatever you end up doing for late 22 into 23. You know we're gonna do this again, no doubt. Game shows are out there and they're still going. Things like Pressure Luck and The Price is Right and all this other good stuff. But if the phone rang tomorrow and they said you could be on anything out there, a game show, what would you like to be a contestant on?
Man, The Price is Right. But I want Bob Barker back. That's
yes,
my thing.
Yes.
Yeah. The Price is Right, man. I probably would not win anything, but it would just be cool. It would just be great. You know,
we go to Bakersfield, we go to Los Angeles, so we get on the game show, and then
what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. Price is Right. You know, for me, and I said, you know, she's done a great job hosting this. Elizabeth Banks, Press Your Luck, since it came back on ABC. I started watching some of that last year, for a couple of years old now. It was just one of those no whammy. I wanted to hit the button.
You just want to hit the button.
And also there's some cool, and that's not easy. It's luck of the draw, but you got to answer a few questions to get your number of spins, but when you get 6-7 spins, it's a strategy game, and I love that. So is Price is Right. So
Price is Right is great. I'll tell you the number one game show that I do not want to be on ever. Like you could not pay me enough to come on the show. Is Jeopardy, and that's nothing against Jeopardy. Good for them. I'm not that smart. You know, like the things that I know about, I feel like would not be impressive on the show Jeopardy. So I just don't want to go on there and let people know how, you know, non-intellectual I am. So yeah, like I can tell you like any Merle Haggard song, or you got a question about this Fender Tele, you ask me away. You want to know some piece of history that's actually probably really important, I don't have a clue. Like no, not my thing. So yeah, would never go on that one.
Well, I'll tell you this, 30 guitars and still going strong. And man, just glad to catch up again. Can't wait for this new Ash Taylor look, this rebranding, this new music coming out, this whole thing you got going on. So great to catch up here on the show. Thanks for being a big fan of what we do here, no doubt, and looking forward to catching up in Nashville here in a few weeks. I'm definitely going to make time for you. You know that. We've become dear friends over the past 2 years. Congrats on the marriage. Congrats on the rebranding and everything. Best of luck. You're coming your way. I know you're going to do a great job as the artist out there is Ash Taylor. Keep me posted. And my friend, come back anytime.
Oh, thank you so much, Brandon. Seriously, you've had my back since day one, and just really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
You got it, no doubt. And coming up today at 5:30, Brooke Burke is going to join us. We'll talk fitness and then some, and maybe she'll tell me how do I fit my workout schedules in around being a parent. I'm going to have to ask her that too at the same time. But that is the hardest challenge, and definitely more to come tomorrow. Sarah Harrelson and our good friend Elise Saunders going to drop by, and of course CRS February 23rd to 25th. Thanks again to Bangtail Whiskey, Hank Jr. Productions, and MitchMax.com. David for tuning in, and of course just Paula and everybody who tuned in today. If you missed this, and we'll be sharing it out a little bit later. It's Ash Taylor. It's one of the best rising country music stars out there in Nashville. Be on the lookout 2022, 2023. I'm going to stroke the ego. Just get used to it. There you go.
Jeez, man. Thank you so much.
We'll talk to you guys at 5:30 today. Brooke Burke on the show. Looking forward to talking Dancing with the Stars fitness and her new line of product with True Niagen out there too as well. We'll talk more about that. And we're going to get some here on the show. So we'll tell you how we feel when we try it out. No doubt about that too as well. We'll see you guys at 5:30 today on the Backstage Pass, again, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. We'll check it in. See you soon.